Hit is kind of something they've been experimenting with in slopestyle for a little while. Kind of that spine jump to a landing. It's a fun feature, I think, to hit first. Front side and back side, you have a bunch of trick options. And then you drop into your kind of your classic half pipe. It's like 3 to 4 hits. I think on contest day it'll be 3 hits if you're doing it right. And then you end into that cat paw kind of hip where the pipe ends and you have a big landing, and that's been one of the more fun features for me to hit. And then the last feature is kind of the best feature for learning new tricks on. Quarter pipe to bank landing. You can also hit it from the front as a hip. A lot of ways to get creative out there.
I'm a strong believer that this is far more of an art than a sport.
It's my craft, it's my artwork. I like to show it off to the world.
This is just a creative outlet. I love being outside. I love movement. I love just jumping off things.
It's not only about the result, it's about how it looks, how the style is in the air. There is the athletic side and the artistic side.
I just want to showcase what I'm capable of doing, and I want to represent skiing in a stylish way and hopefully catch some people that don't see skiing often.
You really truly ski your best when you're having a good time, and that's when that flow and that creativity happens. That is what our sport is all about.
What I think it really comes down to is doing it for yourself. Look at what's being done, what I've done in the past, and where do I want to go?
Pioneers are on a journey that most just cannot begin to understand. The path is off the map, uncharted and undone, where only the strong endure. The test is internal. The test is vital. The test is a quest for something new and meaningful. Cause there's gold in them there hills, and it will take innovation and creativity to strike it. Believe the rush. Never give up. Grasp the glory. Trailblazing is the labor. Discovery is the prize.
Welcome to the final day of Dew Tour 2018 from beautiful Breckenridge, Colorado, on yet another picture-perfect day high atop the Rocky Mountains. As we get set to bring down the curtain on what has been a fantastic week of competition, I'm Todd Harris alongside Luke Van Valen and Tina Dixon. Today we are loaded with top-flight athletes competing in both the modified Superpipe as well as the slopestyle course. Luke, as we turn our attention to men's ski modified Superpipe presented by Toyota, we have got 10 fantastic athletes representing 4 different nations, and they all get 3 runs.
That's precisely right. And we've got Olympic gold medalists, X Games gold medalists, former champions here from Dew Tour. This is a totally different style of Superpipe competition, so it's going to be cool to see those athletes that have performed so well in your traditional Superpipe to jump into this and showcase some really new and innovative techniques.
Right now we send it down to the third member of our team, our MVP, Tina Dixon.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. It's been so much fun to watch these athletes interpret this pipe, steering away from that traditional super pipe run that we're all so used to seeing. In fact, Olympic gold medalist David Wise has been posting his practice runs on social media and doing different tricks on that top hit. So it really remains to be seen what these guys will do during their competition runs. But the highlight for me has been this bottom feature. It's a massive hip. Some skiers are choosing to spin off of it. Some guys are just choosing to go big for the crowd behind me. But that's what makes this event so different, is that opportunity to put on a show. Todd?
Hey, and Tina, I got to ask you before we let you go, what has the athletes' response been to this modified super pipe? Do they like it, or would they rather go back to the traditional, just super pipe?
You know, I think it's been the first couple days the guys have been trying to play around with new lines. It's so different, and there's all these new features. So they're just trying to figure that out and figure out the transitions. But after a couple practice days, they seem to really, really like it.
All right, we know the fans like it. We're looking forward to Tina dropping in as well, Luke, and see what she can do with this modified super pipe, because it would be stellar.
It really would be. I mean, her frontside airs are something to really be enjoyed.
Well, there you see the beautiful thing that is the modified super pipe presented by Toyota. We'll get more into the dynamics of it and the features that they will be facing as they work their way down. I tell you, Luke, that is a who's who of ski pipe mastery.
That's precisely correct. And I mean, Simon D'Artois of Canada is the standalone Canadian. He's going to really enjoy this. I think that he's going to show some really cool stuff. Gus Kenworthy has done this competition many times here at the Dew Tour. The best he's ever done was a second place back in 2011. David Wise has won this event 3 times. He's here. He's the Olympic champion, probably the favorite coming into this event. But look for guys like Aaron Blanc and Alex Ferreira, that younger but like pipe-specific bunch that's going to have to really adapt to this half pipe and bring the heat. Kevin Roland, always a pleasure to watch as well. So much talent.
Give me one dark horse in there that people may not know about, but they are going to certainly bring it.
Oh, 100% Nico Porteous. I mean, he took 3rd at the Olympics. He's hardly a dark horse type figure because he's becoming so well known, but he could win this contest. He's got a double cork coming off the Mr. T spine up top, and I mean, if he does that and then lines everything up, I think it's going to be tough to beat.
Nico Porteous, the youngest athlete in the field at 17. All right, take us through the format, Luke. What are the judges looking for? What will impress them to give out the big score?
Well, in an environment like this, they're looking for progressive moves, something maybe they've never seen before. A grab combination with a particular trick, maybe going big, seeing an opportunity to maybe set themselves apart from the rest of the crew. But 5 scores, 1 head judge. They drop the high and the low, and then you get an average. Best single run score counts out of 3 runs here, Todd.
All right, 100 being the top score possible. We have not seen that in eons here at the Dew Tour, so we will see what happens today. The conditions are near perfect. We're talking very little of any breeze. Temperature is going to be right around in the 40s today. This pipe is manicured. It is set to go, and I think everyone's attention will be turned to the modified super pipe as we get ready to unleash the hounds, so to speak. 10 of the world's best, as we said, 10 athletes, 4 nations, 3 runs. That is the simple math.
And Noah Bowman has just dropped out of the competition, and Taylor Seaton has jumped in to take his place. So Taylor, we spoke to him a moment ago, last minute, just found out this morning that he got into the event. So he showed up, booted in, and he's ready to go.
What's great about this competition is they bring those who are invited to be in the main event, but they also bring the alternates. And if you're an alternate, be ready to go, because progression has its price, and sometimes that price is pain, and some people unable to go once they get injured. So be ready to drop in, and that's exactly the case. Taylor Seaton gets the word literally less than an hour ago, and he's booted up. We saw him getting on the chairlift heading up for the first run.
That's absolutely wild. The one gentleman coming off a win, Aaron Blanc, who's going to be certainly out there challenging everyone. He's got 2 podiums at Dew Tour events, still waiting for his first win. Alex Ferreira, as we brought up earlier, he won this event last year, so he's the defending champion.
You talk about Aaron Blanc, and there you see the judging criteria: progression, amplitude, variety, execution, and trick difficulty. And I'll probably add in there, Luke, as well, is that overall impression, the eye test. It's like that was pleasing to me to watch that.
Right, it all connected. The way that they strategized their run had left and right spinning, but I would say in any superpipe competition, one of the most important parts, maybe the most important part, is amplitude, because it's going to contribute to that overall impression so positively. It's going to increase the experience of the flow, the excitement of the overall run. And when judges are looking at the overall impression based on that criteria, amplitude, to me, always seems like a really big one.
All right, this is really a crossover with the slope-style event. And the men's slope-style event went off yesterday. Evan McCachran of Canada, Luke, remember this well because he was a star.
He is kind of a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of those guys who came right into this event and he looked so good in the jumps. He was so consistent throughout the whole day. And watch this, he's got a really innovative grab, the mute pan right there, scissored out, double grabbing so well. And then coming down into the bottom, switch right side, double cork 1440 to the switch left side, lead tail, double cork 1440. That is just absolutely bonkers. The fact that he can do that trick both to the left and to the right. That's like someone just forcing their body to be ambidextrous on a level that's hard to even comprehend.
And then we made the move over to the jib features. He came in with a big score from the jumps. Remember, it was 50% of your score, and he just went crazy over here. I remember telling Tina Dixon, I can't do any better than that. What does he do in his third run? He does better.
He improves the score. Yeah, it was unbelievable. His use of the wall ride right there, huge contributing factor to his super high score. Switch right side 270 on, continuing 450 out, and watch this transfer. He grips the rail just barely and swings his tips around on that left side or front side 450 out. Just an incredible run, and his consistency in this format, separating the jumps and rails, was enough to take him to the top. His first win in Dew Tour.
94 plus on the rails section. Evan McCachran would rise to the top, taking the win in the men's slopestyle competition. 2-act play, 3 jumps, 3 runs, and the move over to the jib section. Again, 3 runs through that, and he was certainly the best man of the day. Alex Hall also, though, wow, he threw it down in the jump sections with a 94.
Yeah, a 94 in the jump section. A lot of that was due to his grabs and the challenges inherent to grabbing the way that he did. And one guy who can kind of jump into that and really orchestrate some of those grabs and their tricks is also David Wise. He's a big guy who could showcase and really be positively affected by his ability to really throw in some interesting grabs, some intricate new things. Look for that out there.
David Wise, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. There you see him out of the Reno, Nevada area. Has brought the whole family over here, taking part in the Dew Tour week that is. And a lot of this is about emotion, keeping the emotions in check and rising to the top when it counts most.
The stakes are really high, and how you deal with that pressure, I think, really defines who you are as an athlete. That's kind of what brings out the best in me, is when the stakes are high. I do some of my best riding when I'm alone, but I also do some of my best riding when it's absolutely as high pressure a situation as it could possibly be. Rather than say, oh, this is stressful, I have to land this, I say, oh man, I'm gonna go out there and do the best I can do.
Certainly man of his word, David Wise has been on the biggest stages in this sport, and when the time comes, crunch time, he certainly is there and responding. Got his whole family out here, and the rumor has it that the Wise family and the Valen family had a little bowl off last night.
Yeah, there was some bowling that went down right here at Peak 8, and the Van Valens got last, and the Wise family, well, they took first and second, respectively. David in first, Alexandra, his wife, in second. And, you know, that was hard for me, but then I realized that he's a very competitive cat, and it's okay.
His whole family is something else. You talk about his sister being a surgeon, his other sister being a pilot. As we take a look at the men's ski modified Superpipe start list, Taylor Seaton gets the nod just hours ago. He is in. He'll drop in first. Nico Porteous, Simon D'Artois, Irving Kenworthy Wise, Yater Wallace, and the rest of the crew as they get ready with Roland, Blanc, and Ferreira. So we are set to go for the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota here on the last day of the Dew Tour. The aforementioned Taylor Seaton, the 28-year-old out of Avon, dropping in first.
Taylor Seaton, just as we mentioned, in that position as an alternate, getting launched into this competition just about an hour ago. So has really had no chance to get nervous outside of what 60 minutes might provide. Nice alley-oop, right side, 360 right there for Seaton. Pops in backwards into this first hit. Switch down the pipe, 900. Oh, beautiful switch left down the pipe, 900, back-to-back on that trick. And another big switch trick, this time an alley-oop, 720, 2 spins. Seaton looking really clean right now. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And hard up over onto the hip. Gets it and holds on to it. Well done. Right side cork 720 off the hip, which is serious hang time. I mean, the guys that are hitting that hip are seeing their points increase, and I think they've taken a page from Scotty James' book on the snowboard side.
Scotty James with a monster method at the bottom there to win the men's half-pipe competition. But let's look at Taylor Seaton again. A late add to the card, and he comes out swinging on run one.
There's the switch, 900. Now that's his natural direction of spin. This is his unnatural direction of spinning, and looked super clean. I love the way that all turned out. Back-to-back switch 900s, one to the left, one to the right. Big switch alley-oop 720. Airs out of the pipe on the cat's paw. And then hard over the right shoulder, cork 720. Mute catches the coping just a little bit, but holds on to it so well. Skiing that out down at the bottom.
Look at the verticality.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Sending it. I mean, that's like a huge step-up style hip right there. And taking it massive. No chance to really consider what his top run would be. I mean, before this, 15 minutes before practice, we're just hearing is when he got the nod.
Hey, Taylor, you want to be in the competition? You're in. 65-67 for Taylor Seaton on run number 1 of 3. Nico Porteous coming to us from the Southern Hemisphere. Hotbed of skiing in Wanaka, New Zealand. Just 17 years of age. He's got an older brother in Miguel. He's got some Olympic experience and some hardware.
That's
he takes a look down the belly of the beast.
The 17-year-old showed up in Pyeongchang and threw it down good enough for the bronze medal. Watch this. Double cork 1080. Perfect landing right there coming off of Mr. T, that big spine feature up top. Now, judges are going to want to really see some amplitude. Nice looking 1080 right there. Into the switch, right side 900. So spinning both directions into a switch left side double. Looks like he's getting a little bit smaller on the amplitude side, but definitely getting a lot in. Left side double cork 1080, exiting the half pipe right there, and he's going to utilize the quarter hit. Alley-oop double flat spin. No way, he goes down on the final trick. That was packed full of serious trickery.
So he starts off on Mr. T, gets very creative on the cat's paw, and Luke, if he lands that last trick, he's probably into the 80s plus, but Nico Porteous will have 2 more cracks at it.
I love his selection of double flips here. The first one happening on the spine. It's a right side double cork 1080, reaching down for the safety grab right there with that left hand. Watch his hands for the grabs right there. There's the second double of 4 in this run. The right side 900, exiting on the cat's paw with a left side double cork 1080. His one up top was a right side dub 10. So the difficulties inherent to these combinations are really, really intense and certainly top shelf. Alley-oop double flat spin 900 right here. He turns his body up the mountain. There he gets a chance to look at his landing, sucking his knees up, really trying to get his feet underneath him at this point. Just a little bit backseat, and as the compression takes place, he loses his footing and goes down.
So Nico Porteous a score of 54. He looks to run 2 and 3 for improvement. The lone Canadian in the field is Simon D'Artois, the 26-year-old out of Whistler, British Columbia. Finished 13th at the Winter Olympic Games in Pyeongchang just about 10 months ago.
Let's welcome in Mr. Simon D'Artois.
So as the Dart takes one final look down here, he is now on course as he approaches Mr. T's switch.
Oh, really nice. Switch left side, 540. Unfortunately, real back seat on that landing. Massive air to fakie right there. Into the switch. Left side 1260, excuse me, switch right side 1260. Into the switch 7, loving this run, double under flip or double Lincoln style exit up out of that pipe. Into the alley-oop, double flat spin 720, unreal. D'Artois with a very, very creative run and a super solid line all the way down. And Yeah, that switch 1260, very intense trick.
You go back to the landing, though, on the Mr. T, and that really kind of set the tone where he seemed like, oh, this is going to be a throwaway, so I'm going to have a little fun. Took all the pressure off himself and went out and just slayed, but the judges will notice that first landing.
Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely is going to lose a bunch of points, and he'll have to clean it up, but at least it's kind of showing what's to come from the Canadian. I mean, that right there is an easy fix. A switch 5 right there. And excuse me, I don't know why I called that a switch right side trick. That's a switch left side 12. Really clean, really solid. Don't see that trick too often. And then the big alley-oop double flat spin 720. Beautiful. Reaches up. Oh,
look at
looking
that.
for the grab.
Trying to
get that high safety, but unable to lock it in cleanly. So he's got a couple areas where he can clean things up there, and I think that's going to be a really high-scoring run if he's able to put it all down smoothly.
So Simon D'Artois, despite the fall at the start, getting the back seat, he picks up a 73, and the Canadian goes into first place here in run number 1. You're looking at Burke Irving out of Winter Park, Colorado, just 19 years of age, set to drop in on his first run. Winter Park just down the road. High elevation skier.
He's never podiumed at a Dew Tour event. Flat spin 720 up top, dropping in backwards. Not a lot of speed, and you can see that transfers into not a lot of amplitude, but picking it up and getting a switch left side double 1080 down. 3 full spins, 2 flips right there, and it looked like he didn't have the amplitude for it, but getting everything going. Left side double cork 10, exit on the cat spot into the alley-oop flat spin 540, and a solid decision down below. Just put a stamp on it.
Wow, Burke Irving really came out, and that was a huge cat's paw exit.
In that circle right there?
Yeah, 2 really distinctly different doubles going down. One switch, a switch down the pipe left side, dub 10. And right here, he kind of pulls it around. He can clean that trick up a little bit. You see how his legs kind of straddled at one point in the middle of that? He wasn't super tight on the axis that is ideal for that trick, but his switch left side dub 10 right there, really solid. Reaching back for the stale. Really solid right side, 900. And then watch this exit, hard on over the shoulder, exiting with the left side double cork, 1080, and that seems to be a favorite. I mean, you really don't see that ever. Like, athletes don't oftentimes hit a jump that looks like that, a half pipe wall that ends in a tabletop style landing. So these tricks are largely brand new that are being portrayed out here.
Should be a good score for Burke Irving on his first offering, an 80. So Burke Irving goes into first place as the scores continue to climb here on run number 1 of the men's ski modified Superpipe final. His mother named him Augustus. I'll call him Augustus. Everyone else calls him Gus. Gus Kenworthy out of Telluride, Colorado, the 27-year-old with plenty of experience, not only at Dew Tours, X Games, and Olympics. He has been traveling around the world, living coast to coast as he gets the work done here. One of these guys that, Luke, he's great in the pipe, he's great on a slopestyle course, so this really kind of plays into his wheelhouse.
Totally. He can pretty much do it all. I mean, big air, slopestyle, half pipe, whatever it might be, he's going to love this.
Oh, Kenworthy going down early.
And an awesome trick decision right there. That seems to be one, that double flat spin 900 that would come around to his feet well, but he just got under the rotation a little bit too much and couldn't quite get his heels back behind him far enough in order to land that trick. And still going to do the left side double cork 1080 exit on the cat's paw and down into the bottom. I would not be surprised if he throws an alley-oop double flat spin. That's one trick he's got in the bag, and man, unfortunate scenario that he goes down on the very first run, first item, but he's got 2 more.
Gus Kenworthy possibly wincing just a little bit there on that crash. Let's look at this one more time. This is the very first on Mr. T.
So the first flat spin looks good, and watch right here, he just needs a little more hang time. The ground comes a little bit too soon for him to get his heels down and behind him, but look at this cat's paw exit. Left side double cork, 1080, excuse me. And if you're a stickler for physics, you would call that a 990. But we'll just round it up, shall we, Todd?
That's some good geometry right there on you.
Why, thank you. And for Gus Kenworthy as well, changing the planes of his rotation very well.
So that becomes a training run for Kenworthy. There you see the resume of one David Wise, 2018 Olympic gold medalist, Dew Tour champion in 15 and 14. Also picked up the gold in Sochi and got things going back in 2012 when he was the Dew Tour champion. So David Wise, no stranger to the big show as he gets set to drop in his first of 3 runs.
Two-time Olympic pipe gold medalist.
I left his comments pre-dropping in. I just love to jump off things.
I just love jumping off things. I love movement. I'll switch Misty style 900 up and off of that Mr. T spine up top, popping in switch, looking over that right shoulder. That's 2 spins. Switch to forward into the left side, double cork 1260. The trick we'll see quite a bit in the half pipe and tease things up very well. On the right side, 900. Not a lot of speed right here, but right side, alley-oop, flat spin 7. And into the hip, goes for the left side, 7, and locks in the landing. A good run right there for David Wise to kick things off.
I like it.
And here's the switch Misty style 900. Now, that's a tough trick to take off of that particular ramp that way. I mean, it's not an ideal. You can't really do the switch Misty in the same way that you would do it off a jump. So that takes a tremendous amount of almost improvisation and that cat-like air sense to be able to continue and throw a trick like that so well. I switch down the pipe right 7 into the left side, double cork 12. Leading tail grab on the right side, 900. Here's the alley-oop flat spin, 7 mute. And coming down into the hip. Getting the trick right to his feet. And he's got a lot of linear space, if you will, left in case he wants to do that particular trick a little bit larger in upcoming runs. Looked like he lost a bit of speed on the cat's paw, kind of coming out of the pipe after his final hit.
Nonetheless, David Wise jumps into the lead with an 84.67 on run number 1. Good look at the top of the course here, the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. An even better look there at number 341. That's Tornator Wallace. Living in Basalt now, the 23-year-old Dew Tour champion in 12 and 14, placing 9th at the Winter Games. And his career has really been hit with so many devastating injuries, but he keeps coming back.
Torn coming in, double cork 1260 right there. I went to dinner with Torn the other night. He said, look for me to potentially take my full-time focus from Superpipe into slopestyle.
Okay.
That's going to be an exciting thing. Alley-oop, double flat spin, 9, and goes giant, but has the wrong angle of takeoff. Landing basically completely flat there. It's kind of worst case scenario.
Medical staff will get to Tornator Wallace as he takes a hard fall, exiting on the final feature. You called it, Luke. Just the angle was just off as he lands in the flats.
There's not a lot of room for error, unfortunately, when you're hitting a hip like that, because you want to land within and fall down from the top of your air into about a 5-foot margin.
Yeah, there's definitely the sweet spot, and then there's a spot you don't want to land in. Unfortunately, Luke, that's overcooking it, and you can see in that shadowy area, it's flat. I mean, you're dropping that, what, a 3-story building plus to flat.
And rock solid, packed snow.
Everything was looking good for Tornator Wallace here as he...
This exit is amazing. Alley-oop, double flat spin 10. And then he just goes massive to the bottom. And that left leg sucks up the majority of the impact on that landing. And oh man, that is just a rough scenario. And you can see his takeoff sends him way, oh no.
Right about here, he knows.
Oh my gosh, that is so flat. Oh man, that anyone who's ever done that from an athlete perspective is just feeling, I mean, the heels, the knees, the hips, your back, your whole body just
We will not speculate on what the injury is, but Tornator Wallace has taken a serious fall in the final feature of the modified Superpipe here in Breckenridge, Colorado. Luke, unfortunately, we've seen this before. Tornator, he goes big on everything, and this is sometimes the price he pays. As the rest of the athletes look on, there'll be a hold in the competition until he is taken care of. We will step aside, take a quick break here. You are watching the Dew Tour 2018. We'll have an update on Tornator Wallace when we return to Breckenridge, Colorado.
So we're down here, Main Street in Breck. We have a rail jam going on, and what this really does is screws up the flow of traffic. Geez, I think I moved to Breck in '93. I mean, Breck is second home. Hi! Hello, hello, thank you. I still have fans, isn't that cool? I spent a long time here in Breckenridge.
You peaked here.
I peaked in Breck. There's Clint's. Clint's. Every single day. Breck staple. Breck's always had the best early season pipe, best grooming for half pipe, best park, so it's like, it's just really convenient. The airport's only like 2 hours away now. This happens to be one of the best ski areas on the planet if you want to compete in snowboarding.
It's a big enough town where they can host events like this and award shows. I mean, you're winning an award tonight, right?
I am winning, yeah, Trans World Legend Award.
Boom!
I just think it's really cool that I'm getting it here. I think it's pretty rad.
As you should. This is your hometown. I mean, you were kind of at the peak of your career here. You were known as the champ. That's what they all called him back in the day.
Glory days.
Glory days.
Glory days.
Back in Breckenridge, Colorado, this is the scene at the modified Superpipe where just moments ago it was 23-year-old Tornator Wallace out of Basalt who took a big fall coming on the last feature and landing in the flat section of the pipe. So basically 15 to 20 feet out of a 22-foot walled Superpipe, and he came up on the flat area of it. Initial reports are he did not lose consciousness, but he is suffering from serious injury and pain in the heel area. And Luke, that is something that you mentioned when you land that flat. He got into the back and looked like he was trying to let the tails of the skis absorb as much of as he could, but it was just a heavy, heavy fall.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And I mean, bruising your heels in ski boots and the shock that travels up from an impact like that it's so rough. And I mean, he had such a great run going.
Yeah, he hit right here.
Yeah, he just carried it way, way into the middle there. It's just not where you want to land. Obviously, he knows that. He's a very weathered professional, and just a shame how far he carried that into the flats and all the impact. I mean, he stomped on his feet so well, so all of that impact had to go somewhere, and it looks like the majority of it was taken by the bottom of his heels.
Well, he will receive the best medical care here in the Breckenridge area. We will try to get more of an update on Tornator Wallace as they load him onto the sled and he is taken down to receive medical attention. We'll be back to Breckenridge after this short break. You're watching the Dew Tour.
Snowpark Technologies has been around for 21 years, so we've done probably more than 150 plus 200 events. Dew Tour is definitely the kickoff of the big competition season of the big three. Feature one for slopestyle course in the jib section is going to be a Stanley branded feature. We kind of start bouncing ideas and feedback and talk to some athletes about what would they like to see, stuff like that. So then we just start kind of modeling everything out, coming down to the final design and then getting out and starting to build. Building the features is not an easy task. It consists of chop sawing, torching, measuring, cutting, welding, bolting the rails, painting, loading up the rails, shipping the rails, offload in Breckenridge, and take them up the mountain from there. You never know as far as like the creativity of the riders. Every year we're really surprised.
Hi crew, we're here in Breckenridge, Colorado for the first stop of the season. It's the Winter Dew Tour and this is our first eyes on the course. Well, couldn't be more grateful to SPT. This course is incredibly innovative and it looks like an incredible way to get this season started.
Let's put those hands together for David Weiss.
Progression is probably at its peak right now, but it's also an individual decision. It's how much do I want to push and how far do I want to go.
Glorious.
I'm always physically training, and a huge part of that is being mentally trained as well.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to be the best skier I can be.
And he's going absolutely massive. That's what I'm talking about.
I've asked myself a million times why I listen to music when I ride, and I think it's just because there's a bunch of crap going on up there. So it's really nice to be able to block that stuff out, especially at contests.
The way that you ride can be, sort of amplified by the song you put with it.
I usually like to listen to a little bit of rap to get you juiced up.
Sometimes you overamp, blast too big, and you're like, okay, next time maybe I'll tone it back a little bit, listen to something chiller.
I think traveling has made me even more into music because I always have my headphones with me for every mood, feeling. Yeah, my Spotify playlist is pretty big.
Snowboarding and music are two of the biggest influences in my life outside of my friends and family. There's no wrong time to listen to some music.
I do have a lot of cool things that have happened. First I won the Olympic gold, and then I won 3 ESPYs, and then I was on a cereal box. I'm a Barbie now. The thought of me being a Barbie doll is kind of weird, but it's pretty exciting. I'm excited for the world to see it. I went to Sauce Bay a couple weeks before my team did with my coach, Rick Bauer. I went because I really wanted to learn the double, and it's been something I wanted to do for a really long time. So this is the first trip I've ever gone on with a goal, just one trick in mind. We were waiting for the airbag to get set up, but there was weather coming in, and after a week and a half of me being there, there's still no airbag. So the last day of that week, I just went up and I just did it. I think I like the adrenaline rush of learning new tricks. I feel like trying the double without an airbag was pretty impulsive, but I did it, and I'm really glad I did it that way. There are so many amazing women snowboarders right now that are just absolutely killing it. Being a part of that is amazing. Hopefully me and the girls just start doing some crazy things this year.
Modified women's snowboard modified Superpipe still to come later today on the last day of competition here at the Dude Tour. Just to update you, this is Tornator Wallace, who took a fall on his first run. The 23-year-old out of the Basalt area of Colorado, and the report is that he did not lose consciousness, but he did do some serious damage, a lot of pain in the heel area, Luke, and we talked about that. He dropped some 30-plus feet out of the sky to the flats of that Superpipe, and that's where basically most of the absorption took place.
And for anyone who's ever bruised or broken their calcaneus, it's an extremely painful thing to undergo. It's a very uncomfortable situation.
Tornator Wallace will now be taken out to Breckenridge Medical Center. He'll get the best treatment there, as he will try to update you throughout the day on Tornator Wallace. Well, tough way to start the first runs. Tornator Wallace was the 7th athlete to drop in. Top score thus far was the 84 put up by David Wise, but that kind of takes a back seat now as everyone starts to think about Tornator Wallace. And look, we talked about how many injuries he's had, and he's been through this so many times before, and you hate to see it happen to him.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, he's had incredibly insane and profound bodily infections. Yep. He's had like broken ribs, punctured lungs. He's torn up his legs. It's a rough situation.
Yeah, he was supposed to compete in the Sochi Games, but was injured, unable to go. He got injured just before the Pyeongchang Games, but he was able to get in there with a coach's discretionary pick. And so Tornator Wallace injured yet again here in the Superpipe today in the modified in the very last hit, where he carries it a little bit too far and lands in the flats. And Luke, I don't know if my math is off, but correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking about 35-plus feet to ground.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, stack 3 basketball hoops on top of each other, jump off the top, and land on hard-packed snow. I mean, it's a terrible situation. It's rough. Like we said, there's only a small amount of margin where the athletes can actually land back into the transition, and that impact won't be there. And unfortunately, Torn, coming in backwards, just turned his skis a little bit too far to the skier's left and took off into the middle. And yeah, that's rough.
And we'll try to get you updates throughout the day with Tina Dixon efforting to get that information when we get that. Here it is one more time. Tornator Wallace, the last hit of his first run, as he just launches away from the wall, and right there.
Man, and not to discount, I mean, the forward velocity that he's got, it's not just that straight downward, but it just adds to it. It's such a physically painful situation to find yourself in, falling that far to flat.
So that's a story, and that's where we sit in the competition right now. Luke, what has impressed you so far, and who has been someone that you think has adapted quite well to this modified Superpipe?
Well, you know, I think Nico Porteous has actually really impressed me. Also, I thought Simon D'Artois had an awesome run. Of course, David Wise just crushing it, but we've come to expect that from him, certainly, and he had a great run. But some of these other guys are really bringing some huge tricks and these new aspects of the modified Superpipe, which I think will score really well.
So this is Kevin Roland out of France, 29-year-old, dropping in here with Olympic Dew Tour experience certainly under his belt.
Nice big lead tail grab on that 540. Pops in, switch to the half pipe. Switch down the pipe, left side 7, looking really clean. Now a double to the right for Roland, and a little bit backseat, but holds on to it. into the big inverted 540 right there. Who knows if he meant for something more there, but the mistake affected him coming into that. Exits with a right side 720 and big safety grab, tweaked out down at the bottom, and that was probably not the run he wanted entirely. I mean, something went wrong there.
He's one of those guys that if he's in the flow, it is sensational, but once he gets off his line just a little bit, he kind of just waved the white flag on that one, knowing that he still has 2 more runs to make it right.
Yeah, at that point, you just want to finish things out and move along to the next one. So this switch 720, really solid. Big old safety grab with that right hand, pulls the skis out to the side, super stylish. And the right side double cork 1260, grabs mute, super solid, coming around on the last 180 there, and he's just heavy on that left foot, steers him down the hill a little bit too much, and he just airs gloriously up this hip. That is a beautiful picture of free skiing.
So despite getting in the back seat, Kevin Roland with a respectable score, 75.67, as we are down to the final 2 competitors in run number 1. It'll be Aaron Blanc and then Alexander Ferreira. David Wise leads the way with an 84.67. Aaron Blanc, Luke Van Valen mentioned it, he is coming into this competition hot, fresh off a win at the Grand Prix, and wow, did he open some eyes at that event. He was just stellar.
Oh yeah, Blanc's got some incredible switch tricks in the half pipe. Will we see those? Starts things off with a switch 720, coming in backwards to the pipe. Little switch 3 down and in, transferring his body. There's the first big switch double 9, super tough trick into a switch right side double the opposite direction. Oh.
And Aaron Blanc hits the rail hard.
That icy edge right on the top of the pipe that known as the coping. It is a rock hard situation. In order for a half pipe to be skiable in this way, it has to be almost a block of ice. And that's what he hit.
And Luke, you could tell the way he popped off that wall, he just didn't get the distance away from it as he was coming back down. Just did not have the right entry angle position just over the, as you mentioned, the coping and that razor sharp rock hard lip that is the top of the super pipe.
And it's the thing that I see is the left side of the body, including like his left elbow and
his
shoulder. Watch this. Boom, the hip, the ribs, everything there. Just, I mean, you can see where the impact was up in the snow there. I mean, there's hardly even a mark from a 160-pound dude coming down from that high onto it. It barely makes a mark. That's how hard that is. It's like hitting wood or metal. And hearing that he got the wind knocked out of it pretty good.
Oh man. He's going to come down with looking for some goods. So he'll come down with one boot locked in, the other one he'll carry down as Aaron Blanc, as we mentioned, winner of the first Grand Prix of the season, takes a big shot. That's a shot Chuck Norris wouldn't even come up back from.
Oh man, Chuck would probably shy away from that. He'd avoid it at all costs.
So Aaron Blanc checked out as we go back to the top. This is the final man to drop on the first run of the men's ski modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. None other than Alex Ferreira out of Aspen, Colorado, 24 years of age. He was a star for the U.S. ski team in Pyeongchang, and here he is now trying to leave his mark with a big score in run number 1.
Coming in backwards, switch right side. Japan 540, super clean, very corked. Into the left side, double cork, 1260, beautiful landing. Ferreira looking good right now. Into the right side, double cork, 1260, back to back. 2 really difficult doubles put to his feet. Into the 900, here comes the exit on the cat spy. An opportunity for some creativity, he does it. Down the pipe, flat spin. And sneaks in the right side 360, lead safety. And a really solid run. Probably feels spectacular to get that all the way down into his feet. And with the wrecks we've been seeing, it's really nice to see a full pull, Todd.
So a big crash coming from Aaron Blanc, an even bigger crash from Tornator Wallace, and Alex Ferreira wraps up run number 1 with this piece of glory.
Switch right side, corked 540 or rodeo style 540 Japan. Right into the left side double cork 12. Beautiful. The landing, flawless. Here's the right side version of that same trick. Once again, flawless landing. Beautifully done. Reaches down for the mute when he reached the height of his trick right there. Holds onto it. Puts the gear down so well. The way he twists up into it and into his grab. There's the left side 9. I love this down the pipe, flat spin, Japan. Kind of shifties out of it at the last second. And a right side 360 lead safety. Love the way he gets way high up toward the top of the binding on that exit. Down the pipe, flat spin, 540. And here's that lead safety way up high. Just sneaks it around the coping right there. And that's that margin, again, that we were talking about. I mean, you're either on the coping or in the flats if you make a mistake at all.
How about this score? A 90 for Alex Ferreira as he goes into first place here in round number 1. When he's swinging the pole at the end of the run, you know it's a good thing, and Alex Ferreira's in a good place. As we take a look at the standings after 1 run of 3, Alex Ferreira leads the way, David Wise in 2nd, and Burke Irving currently sitting in 3rd. But that 90 is a monster score coming from Alex Ferreira.
Just an absolute monster and a great layout so far. We've seen a lot of what's upcoming after first run, some opportunities for the athletes to maybe clean some things up. Nico Portia is one guy who I've been hitting on, but right now that American sweep is looking really solid. David Wise in 2nd, Irving in 3rd, and Alex Ferreira with his first run, explosively launching him into that first place spot. And look at this, just curling up that first 900 and then falling out of the final 360. So 3.5 complete spins. And he does the same thing right here. Let's count them. Tips come around 1. Here's the 2nd, and there's the 1080 to 1260. 2 flips, 3.5 spins, both directions, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and then a big 900. Look at how he locks the grab on the tip of the tail of his ski. So important to have those grabs really locked in, and Alex has recently just been showcasing the fact that he's no longer that amateur guy who shows up to competitions. He is top-tier professional, full-scale super pro.
This one's for you, brother. Stay strong.
Taylor Seton sending out some love and best wishes as he drops in. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Taylor Seton got the call 15 minutes before practice that he was an ad. As Noah Bowman unable to go, so Taylor Seton in, made the most of it on run number 1 with a 65.67. Now he's fully warmed up. Comes out hot off of Mr. T.
And a little bit of a sketchy landing up top, and oh man, missing his grab right there. This is not quite as good as that first run. So the rest of this run will just be for laughs for Taylor Seton. He'll just get to enjoy himself and get to see a little bit of his personal flavor. Nice alley-oop 360 tail grab. Big high safety right there for Taylor Seton, and that's a throwaway run for him, Tom.
So the throwaway run means that Taylor Seton is down to 1 final run. The 65.67 is what he will hold on to, and he will have 1 more crack at it. Remember the format, 3 runs, but they only keep your very best score.
How good? 1 left, Torn.
Love this the way he alley-oops. He turns up the pipe and spins to his left right there. Just a big 360, super clean lead tail grab. Very stylish stuff. And then he just airs into the hip landing from that takeoff on the front. A lot of different ways to hit that final feature, and it seems like the majority of the athletes are loving the hip function.
There you see the Superpipe at Breckenridge. Well, that wasn't good enough, so we came along and modified it. Starting off with the Mr. T feature right out of the gate, and then you've got the cat's paw and the big hip at the bottom. Nico Portia is a 17-year-old out of New Zealand going through few final thoughts in his mind. He currently sits in 7th place with a 54. Luke, he had a great run going, but remember on that last hit, he gets into the back seat and sits, so there is the 54.
His brother, Miguel Porteous, older brother, came in and won the team event right here. The overall, of course, Atomic took, but he contributed by winning the highest score here in the Modified Superpipe. Nico was not in that competition. Little backseat and off to the side there. Sketchy landing for Nico Portia. It's always tough to start things off that way. The 1080, here comes the switch. Down the pipe 900, did a switch double here before, gets it again. Switch double 10 without a ton of hang time. that really shows incredible strength, especially in the core. Left side, double 1080, barely sneaking the tips around, but he gets it. Here's the alley-oop, flat spinning 540. Beautifully done. That was a double flat spin in run number 1. He definitely had some sizable mistakes in that run, but he did land the whole thing, so we could probably see a bigger score than 50.
If you were coaching young Nico, would you tell him to back off possibly on that first hit on Mr. T?
That I don't know. I think he's kind of got that go for broke style, because he knows he's the only guy doing a double off of that except Gus Kenworthy, who hasn't landed it yet. And if Nico can throw that down and then continue the rest of his run, he'll be kind of in business. The one area where I just I might give him some coaching is, you know, if you stop your whole run, maybe do the single flat spin down at the very bottom, but I just don't know. He might need the double flat spin in order to overtake everyone. His amplitude in the pipe not quite as sizable as everyone else, but kind of depends. Depends on the overall flow. If he stomps that double up top and then has a really big run with lots of amplitude, lots of speed, he could probably get away with the alley-oop single at the bottom. But now that the judges have seen the double, Todd, you kind of got to do it.
Wow, despite the bobbles at 83.3 for Nico Porteous of New Zealand. So he is in business. Keeps swinging for the fences, Nico. That was a strong score for him. Simon D'Artois now sitting on a 73, knowing that he needs something better than 90 to answer back to Alexander Ferreira, who is the leader after one run. 3-run format, best run counts. So as the dart gets set, and looking down the course to the very bottom. Remember the half pipe here, the Superpipe in Breckenridge is 300 feet in length. So you're talking about a football field. They went ahead and added this upper feature, Mr. T, plus the cat pop, plus the hip at the bottom. So you got a lot of work to do before you get to the finish line.
No question. There's that switch left side, 540. That was clean. Big air to switch right there. Down into the bottom. And the switch 1260. I just have never seen someone throwing a straight switch 1260 in the half pipe. I love that big double Lincoln, double flare style exit right there on the cat's paw. The alley-oop double flat spin 7. What a landing. And got the grab this time.
So the lone Canadian in the field, very happy with that. This should be an improvement on the 73 that he got on run number 1.
Dart was still a little bit backseat on the landing of the Mr. T feature up top. Love this massive air to fakie. It might look easy, but it's really hard to make an air to fakie look that good. Comes around to 5, 7, 10, and 1260 right there. It's just a switch 12. I mean, for the longest time when I was announcing these competitions, 8 to 10 years ago, forward 1260s were considered basically impossible to grab.
Game changers.
Yeah. People couldn't grab them. I mean, they just couldn't, but the fact that he does switch 12, locks in the grab, I mean, that's just incredible. Alley-oop double flat spin 720, no question about whether or not he locked in that right hand down to the high safety position on his right ski. Beautifully executed right there for Simon D'Artois. I think that he's going to see a definite improvement.
81 for Simon D'Artois on run number 2 with 1 run to go. 90 is the mark to beat right now, put up by American Alexander Ferreira. Burke Irving will take a swing at it right now. Burke having 80 on run number 1, the 19-year-old out of Winter Park, Colorado. I'm guessing that the elevation here at Breckenridge is not bothering him. If he's from Winter Park, it's
feeling very at home.
Yeah, feeling very at home here.
He probably prefers some pretty thin air. Sea level probably feels a little bit claustrophobic for him. And there's that kind of flat spin style 720 right there. And leaving maybe just something small to be desired on that very first hit. There's the switch left double, and a ski is gone. The brake not engaging on that ski, so that thing flying way down the hill. Hopefully that stops somewhere in the neighborhood.
So Burke Irving will have to look to the 3rd and final run if he wants to make his presence felt on the podium.
And here's his setup trick. Switch, down the pipe, 540 mute grab to tee this up. The switch double. He's got enough amplitude, it seems like, but a little too much flip, not quite enough spin right there is the result.
While he collects his equipment, let's take this moment and check in with Tina Dixon.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Well, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster down here. You know, there's been the excitement for the event and skiing in general. When Tornator Wallace went down, it was absolutely quiet here. Thoughts are with him at this point. Now, I spoke to Alex Ferreira, who's one of Torin's best friends, and just to get his thoughts on how do you pick yourself back up after someone goes down? He says, you know what, it's the hardest thing, but we're all skiers, we're all friends. Right now, I'm going to focus on skiing and radiate that positive energy, but keep skiing and then go down and see Torin afterwards, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tina, and we'll see how these guys respond. And it's true. The thing was just rolling. Everyone was having a great time. The progression was being pushed, and then it came to a screeching halt with Tornator Wallace taking a hard fall. We'll try to effort an update on his condition, the 23-year-old out of Basalt, Colorado. As we move on in competition, Gus Kenworthy now, a man with all kinds of experience, both on the slopestyle course as well as the half pipe. But this is the modified super pipe, and Gus Kenworthy needs something big. Remember, he fell on the first feature, Mr. T, that's the 8.33 score.
And he knows he just needs a little more speed on this trick right here. Just needed a little bit more. Oh, no, went down again. And that double underflip style rotation on that 900, and man, unfortunate situation.
The landing on that, Luke, I mean, the Mr. T feature in itself is very imposing, but the landing on it has given both skiers and snowboarders issues.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, it's really tough. If you've ever watched Inception, do you remember the part where they're on the street and then they step onto the street and they totally change the plane of where they are? That's kind of what you have to do in the air. And rarely do you have to make that big of a transition in skiing. So he's going from a vertical wall and then he's landing on a flat area that's sloping downhill in a totally different direction. So it's a difficult thing to do, but this time was basically the same sort of situation. He just didn't quite have enough to get his feet underneath him, and this time he actually over-rotated the spin a little bit, but didn't get quite enough flip. So the opposite situation of what we saw with Burke Irving, where there was too much flip, not enough spin. There was a little too much spin, not enough flip right there.
Current standings look like this. Alexander Ferreira leads. He put down the 90 on run number 1. He still has to take his second run. David Wise and Nico Porteous, the top 3. So David Wise now going through the muscle memory, fresh off the victory over the Van Valen family at the bowling alley last night, sitting on an 84.67. And, you know, I can't say enough about his family. His sisters are so impressive. One sister is a surgeon and travels the world taking care of underprivileged folks. Other sister is a pilot in the Air Force, flying the big ones.
Yeah, and she lost a leg.
Yeah.
At one point,
and still flying, no problem. Doesn't hold her back. So, underachieving family of the year would have to be the Wise family, with their brother being the double Olympic gold medalist. And David Wise comes up short on that left side and goes down hard.
Just not quite getting the pop and the rotation.
So gives the double thumbs up. Someone will retrieve that ski as it comes to hopefully a stop before it does any damage. But Luke, once again, he looked like he came into that thing so hot. It looked like he had perfect line, and then it just all went wrong, landing on that wall, left side wall.
It's true, and well, David Wise will shake this one off. There's no question. He's one of the most unrelentingly upbeat competitors that we have in free skiing, and really got to start all the rotation from right there, right at the takeoff. You can see him grabbing his knees, huge indicator that he did not get enough trick initiation, not enough power off that takeoff in order to get that trick all the way around. And you know, one little note that I wanted to throw out here is that, you know, a lot of athletes might want to come into free skiing. Maybe they compete a few times, don't do awesome right off the bat. But get this. This is like, it was his 9th event before he got onto the podium. David Wise's first event, 23rd place, 26th place, 15th place, 12th, 16th. And the list goes on and on and on until he finally got up to the top of the podium and ended up dominating the world of free skiing superpipe. So unrelenting is the name.
So the lesson to you kids out there, if you're listening to Uncle Luke, is stick with it.
Stick with it.
David Wise able to ski down to the bottom, gave the double thumbs up, so he is good. We move on now to Kevin Roland, sitting on a 75.67 out of the beautiful French town of La Planche.
Beautiful lead tail on the left side, 540 right there from Kevin Roland. Hops in backwards right there. Big switch 720. Here's where he struggled in run number 1. Right side double cork 1260. Gets it this time around. We'll get to see the rest of his run. Beautiful stuff. There's the left side double cork 12. And coming out of the pipe with a right side 720. Hard into the hip right now. Giant air. And certainly taking a page out of the book of Scotty James with a big straight air down there at the bottom. Could even go bigger if he wanted to. Maybe that'll happen at the next run.
So a stylish straight air for the Canadian. Hard to believe that Kevin Roland, the oldest competitor in this field at 29.
And his girlfriend Roma, currently pregnant with their first child. Exciting stuff happening in the roll-on squad. And here's that right side double cork 1260, which plagued him prior. No issues this time around as he stumps the landing out very well. And then he mirrors that with a trick that he used to dominate Superpipe competitions for years and years. The 3-time Dew Tour champion, exiting nicely in the pipe right there with a right side cork 7. Not sure what the grab was or what sort of happened there on his exit on the cat's paw. It was difficult to tell, but going massive on the hip.
Someone's got a nice gram right there. So a score waiting to come down for Kevin Roland of France, a veteran of Dew Tours and all the big shows. And the French coaches, they're excited.
They're jazzed up.
It's a Super Sunday here as Kevin Roland waiting for the score, and it is an improvement in 84. Kevin Roland now in a podium position. 2 more competitors to go here in run number 2. Aaron Blunt, we saw him take a hard fall on the skier's left wall. It only netted him a 19, so he has to come back and try to put that in the rear view mirror.
It's a really cool trick to do up top, the switch right side 720 mute. Now look for 2 switch doubles here. There's the first one, lost a little bit of speed, and only goes for the single. Not really feeling it, not the run that he wanted, so with that, Todd, I mean, we can confidently say he's gonna have to apply all pressure to run number 3.
No question about it, 3-run format, you only keep your best. Now he's just kind of scoping out a little trial run through the cat's paw in the final feature here. So he will head right back to the top of the modified Superpipe and look for something more. Remember, let's not discount the possibly still feeling the effects of that first run dinger that he took.
Quite possibly. Here's the first. Look how blind that is. I mean, the only thing he can do is kind of look down between his knees to find his landing. Everything is not, I mean, he's backwards and flying backwards. I mean, his trajectory is backwards. He took off backwards. He's going to land backwards. Probably the most blind trick in skiing right there. And Aaron Blanc, really the only guy producing that trick on a regular basis. And there's the switch 540, just having to back off his switch double 900, so 3rd rounds for him.
Alex. As Tina Dixon reported, Alex Ferreira thinking of his good friend Tornator Wallace, who went down hard on run number 1, injuring his heels out of the competition. And Alex Ferreira came back and paid homage to his good friend by throwing down a 90 on run number 1. And here he is back for more, the last man to drop on run number 2 of 3.
There's the switch right side, 540 Japan, super clean. Now one thing to watch his hands. The way he locks in those grabs. Nice big mute grab right there. And the same exact trick just spun to the right. Really tough, but everything's so far really clean. Judges love to see that. There's no question. There's comfort. Oh, hanging that big down the pipe flat spin out to dry. And there's the 360. Holds onto it. A little bit backseat on the landing, but beautifully done. Once again, the exact same run, only a little bit different grab on the cat's paw feature. When he exited, went for high safety instead of Japan that we saw in run number 1.
I think he's channeling his inner Tiger Woods. Rocking the red on Sunday.
Hey, there it is.
Something there.
Well played. Might be something there. Let's look into it. Left side, dub 12. And then here's the right side double 12. And look, 4 fingers on that ski. I mean, I said watch his hands, and they are hard at work, just locking in the grabs. Oh, misses the grab on the left side, 900 tail grab. That is unusual for Ferreira. In run number 1, he really clutched that ski and held it in well. There's that big high safety to late, kind of shifty. You can see how he threw his skis to the left. It's called a shifty in the midst of that trick. Here it comes. He's just going to throw him back behind him for a second. And a beautiful landing. Lots of speed coming into the hip. 360. And nice little lead safety grab right there. Kind of had to make a small adjustment at the tail end of the trick. That's about it.
So at 83 for Alex Ferreira, still a smile on his face because he is sitting in first place with the 90 launched on run number 1. And that means that there is one more run to go before a champion will be crowned in the men's ski modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. I'll tell you what, Alexander Ferreira waited till the very end. And Luke, I love the fact that he made some slight changes in his run. Now, they weren't perfect, but he made some slight changes in there, and that's what makes it very interesting. Kevin Roland also coming out swinging on run 2. But look at this thing, a thing of beauty.
That's right. That's that left side double core 12. And watch how the spinning just happens, reaches back, locks in that tail grab. This is the 900 from run number 1. Just grabbing the very tip of his tail. There's so much muscle memory that goes into that. I mean, he's not looking at the grab. He's just reaching back, and he finds it immediately, holds onto it for a long time. That translates to a great score.
So here we go, the third and final runs of the men's ski modified Superpipe final. Taylor Seaton, as we've mentioned earlier, was a last-minute ad. We're talking 15 minutes before practice. He gets the call, you're in the big show.
Alley-oop right side 720 for Seaton. Pumping things up a little bit this time around. There's the switch. Right side down the pipe 900 into the switch left 9. Oh, his first run will stand in greatness as his best run of the day with that fall. But man, the back-to-back switch 9's looking good for Taylor today. Unfortunately, goes down there.
So Taylor Seaton will hold on to that 65-6-7, his first offering. But being able to respond like that, being able to go at a moment's notice to drop in a final this heavy.
Totally. I love that trick. Great tail grab, just didn't pop quite enough, was super tight to the wall and the coping there, just brought his feet together. You can see at the last second he lands with like his ankles packed together just to sneak all the gear past that coping, and does well with that situation. Unfortunately loses the shoe. The Atomic flies off, but he's had a big weekend. So is the Hard Good Brands Atomic, taking the team competition here at Detour.
Ends on a positive note, so Taylor Seaton's day is done. Congratulations for him just making it into the final. Nico Porteous, this is going to be an interesting run. Started off with a 54, had a few little bobbles, cleaned it up on run number 2 with an 83. Luke, you like the makings of this cake mix right here. He's got all the ingredients. Now all he has to do is let this thing just percolate, rise to the top, and put the candle on top.
Totally. I can hear the head judge over there going, okay, guys, here comes Nico. Now, if he puts this to his feet, we got to figure out what we're going to do.
What are we going to do with this kid?
What are we going to do if it happens? There's the double cork, 12, yes. Good landing. This thing has the makings of a victorious run. Here's the 1080. Not a ton of amplitude. Does he have enough speed for this switch double? No!
And you called it, Luke. It seemed like he scrubbed a little bit of speed, and he needs that pop. He needs that speed to get up that wall and pull off the double. Now, he could pull off a double pretty much standing on his flip-flops on the ground, but this time just did not have the verticality he needed to complete the rotation.
Totally, and lost a lot of speed pretty much as soon as he got into the pipe, that first 10 up top, but man, it started off so well. Here's that big safety grab, right side double cork. Beautiful stuff, and here's the first wall. It's got good amplitude there. Swings the skis around, and right there, as he's coming across the flat bottom, his left ski, he sort of swings it out wide, scrubbing a lot of speed, and that I would say confidently contributed directly to the lack of speed that he had going into this switch dub 10 that inevitably caused him to fall.
So his downfall there, quite literally, so he will hold on to the 83.33 that he picked up in run number 2. That has Nico Porteous currently sitting in 4th place. Burke Irving, up and down 2 runs, started off pretty good score. Simon D'Artois gets set to go before Irving. He had a 73, and then his second run was an 81, and that was really strong. It all comes down to this, though, 3rd and final run.
Dart has not seen the podium at a Dew Tour event. He has won X Games Superpipe, so no stranger to the top of the podium. Just needs to really make it happen here. There's a giant air to fakie into the switch. 1260 tail grab. No! I so wanted to see the rest of that. That had some heat. That had some amplitude, power, speed, intensity, all of those things packed into it, and then it goes down.
You were sensing the sizzle, weren't you?
Oh, I was feeling the flow.
Simon D'Artois, 73, then an 81, and then this had the makings of an upper 80, maybe even a 90.
Gigantic air to switch. The switch down the pipe, 12, gets the tail grab. Puts the gear down and just a little bit low on the wall. His center of gravity was a little too far back over his heels. And he falls to the snow.
So Simon will hold on to that 81, and he currently resides in 5th place.
You're good. You're good. Come on, Burke.
So now we'll see Burke Irving out of Winter Park, Colorado. Up and down, started off very nicely with an 80, came back, had issues with a 15.33, so he's looking to replace that 80, trying to get himself on the podium. To get on the podium, he'll need better than an 84 to overtake Kevin Roland.
Gets the flat 7, almost no speed coming into the half pipe. Still able to air out right there on the switch right, 720. Switch double, gets it, that's where he struggled in run number 2. Looking good, big exit the left, double cork 1260. And switch down the pipe 720, nicely done right there from Burke Irving. The only thing, there might have been kind of a repeat trick there. Remember, judges want to see really dynamic run, not the same trick twice ever. And his trick down at the bottom looked like the switch 7 that we saw in the half pipe. Big switch double. Drops all of his weight back into the half pipe, reaches back with that right hand, locks in the grab, coming around at the 1080, gets enough flip and spin this time around. And there's the right side, 900. This is definitely a big highlight. Double cork 1260 right there. And down into the bottom, switch, right side, 720. Landing forward right there, stretching it a little bit at the tail end. We'll see what the judges do with that.
Got the 5 judges working overtime on the last day of the Dew Tour. You throw out the high score, you throw out the low score. And remember, it's 3-run format where you only keep your best score. So right now, Burke Irving's sitting at an 80. He'll throw away that 15.33. And Luca, put you on the spot here. You think that last run was better than an 80?
I don't know. The judges are going to have to react to the fact that he basically produced the same trick twice in that run, which typically gets smacked down pretty hard, but it's going to be interesting on what their decision is.
Are those cheetah paws or leopard paws? Are you up on your animals?
You know what? Actually, he did a switch 900 up top. I stand corrected. I am up on my animals, and that's leopard. But I apologize. There was not a repeat trick in that situation. I think he did a switch 9 and then a switch 7 down below. So that could be a high-scoring run. The switch double is definitely going to do well for him, the one in the pipe. And then that exit was huge. That's the biggest trick we've seen on the exit. Boom!
There you go, 84.33. So Burke Irving, the judges like it enough to put him on the podium for the time being. 84.33, his best score of 3s. If we take a look at the standings right now, it's still Alex Ferrer by way of the first run 90. David Wise sitting in second, and now Burke Irving. So the American sweep looking to be in effect as Kevin Roland has been bumped off the podium. His day not quite done just yet. He's got one more run to go as Gus Kenworthy will be the next one to drop in, but he just needs to get past Mr. T.
Yeah. He's got a lot of work already behind him so far in the week for Team Atomic. He did the team event, he did the individual slopestyle event, and he's here in modified Superpipe. 2 crashes so far, which means it's been probably over an hour since he's even had a chance to, you know, practice his run that he had inevitably planned for this event. But fortunately for a guy like Gus Kenworthy, such a polished professional, he should be able to throw it all down. Just got to land the first bit.
We'll see what Gus does here. Does he just take a cruise around the park, or does he really go after it? There you go. Mission accomplished. First run complete. He'll drop in. And here comes Kenworthy, hardest working man in free skiing next to Luke Van Valen. Swings it around, lands switch.
Right side 720 right there, and then the switch 7. Gus just wanting to put down a run right now. There's the 900 back seat on that landing. And Kenworthy not quite having his ideal day. Big alley-oop flat spin 720 tail grab down at the bottom just to show him, yeah, I've still got some meat in the grinder. Nicely done, but unfortunately just a rough day, and not getting past that first jump on his first 2 runs definitely kind of affects the mental, you know, emotional, physical side of generally everything.
Big improvement though, Luke. He gets all the way, almost 3/4 of the way down the pipe before he has any issues.
Yeah, really nice switch 7 tail grab. That was just a really beautiful trick. Then the right side 900 tail. That's where he drops the hip to the ground, just forces the straight air there.
52.33 moves Gus Kenworthy into the 8th position. So down to the final 4 competitors in the men's ski modified Superpipe, presented by Toyota. The 2-time Olympic gold medalist David Wise, currently sitting in 2nd place with an 84.67. He needs better than a 90 to overtake the leader, Alexander Ferreira.
Coming in switch, there's that switch Misty 900 tough trick with that takeoff. We'll see if Wise can really bring it here. Here's the left side dunk cork, 1260. Does he have the right side version of the trick? And no, he does not. So Wise not going to be able to improve here on run number 3.
So David Wise, the best he can do will be 2nd place with 3 more athletes still to go. Kevin Roland, Aaron Blanc, and Alexander Ferreira. Early in the season, a lot of these guys coming off a very heavy Olympic year, and we've heard this in the snowboarding realm. They just let your hair down a little bit. Try some new things, not worry so much about making teams and getting on the podium, but just polishing up your show.
Absolutely. And David Wise certainly was polished up to this point. Now into the right side, double cork 1260, and right here comes up, sucks the knees up, trying to get that rotation around, but of that a despair. Bummed with the scenario, but based on the conversations I had with him last night, just a guy who sort of
back in time and make your takeoff more powerful.
Takes things as they come. I said, can you believe that you have 2 Olympic gold medals? And he said, no, I feel like it happened to somebody else.
Fun stuff.
That was a smile on his face. He'll pack up the family, head back to the Reno Tahoe area, and we will see him down the road at another competition. So, as we said, just 3 competitors left to go. Kevin Roland currently sitting in 4th place. Then it'll be Aaron Blanc, and the last man to drop will be Alexander Ferreira. If no one can top a 90 by then, Alexander Ferreira gets the glory run here in Breckenridge. Never lacking in intensity, Kevin Roland of France now on course.
540, very clean, super solid tail grab in there. Coming in backwards, trying to overtake Burke Irving in that 3rd place position. Burke had a really sensational exit out of the pipe. Kevin with a nice left side double cork 1260 right here. Boom, hanging out the 720. Looked like he got the grab a little bit better that time. Might be an improvement. Goes for a 360 instead of the straight air. Oh,
had the potential, certainly a podium finish, and it was the last hit. Remember his previous run, he went for the straight air with a bit of a grab. This time, Lukey adds a little more. Maybe he felt he needed a little more spice to the run to get him into that top 3.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, one of the things that I saw that was wrong with his run and second run was that it looked like he kind of missed his grab on the cat's paw feature. So I thought just maybe cleaning that up, but it appears that Kevin was more under the impression he needed to add a little bit more to the run. So he does a 360 down on the bottom hip. And man, everything else was looking super great. Look at that right side dub cork, 1260. 2 flips, hence the dub cork aspect. 2 off axis spins, and right there, the big 360. Just struggles.
So the 84 will be Kevin Roland's best, and the best he will do is 4th place. Ferreira, Wise, and Irving, the top 3 right now, as Aaron Blanc, he is in desperate need of a big run. Blanc currently mired back in 9th place. Best score so far, a 32.33. So, Aaron Blanc does not get better than a 90. That means that Alex Ferreira will be the champion.
Love that switch 720, then pops a quick switch 3 in. Here comes 2 double flips. If he can lock this in, looks like he's not gonna go for it. The second switch double, but he can still really put things together. Changing up his run a little bit, double down the pipe flat spin, and big old 720 to the right, up and out. Final chance here, airs to a big 180, call it a 270 if you will, but down into the landing, stomping switch. Blanc switching things up a little bit. Will it be enough?
He'll need an 84.34 to get on the podium. He'll need better than a 90 to take the lead and force Alex Ferreira into a serious 3rd and final run. Otherwise, Alex Ferreira, does he take glory runs, or does he just know only 1 speed and that's all out?
Man, I've always seen him just kind of go full scale, but with the excitement of, repeating this situation, who knows? We'll get to see a little bit more. I don't think he's had too many victory laps in his day, but this is a beautiful moment if, of course, the judges come in and do not decidedly give Aaron Blanc something bigger than a 90. So he drops in that that double flat spin down the pipe 900, then swings the right side 7 tail grab right there, and then big right side 270 right here. Boom. Down and in. Grabbing safety with that right hand. Super clean. I mean, love that run. Where is that going to land him?
Heavy ramifications on this score getting set to drop for Aaron Blanc. If it's better than a 90, that forces Alex Ferreira into a final run to try to take the lead back. The judges are really taking their time on this one.
And then, of course, your leader, Alex Ferreira, with a 90 that we saw in round.
Meanwhile, Alex Ferreira up there wearing his tiger red.
Yeah.
Wondering if he's going to have to throw down on the 3rd and final. Blanc, the score coming in. And it is an 86, so he does jump onto the podium into 2nd place. David Wise sliding to 3rd, and Alex Ferreira has taken the win.
Second place finisher, that's last year. He's going to repeat that spot here in 2018.
It's one thing to win the Dew Tour, but it's another thing to come back and defend the title and win it, and that is exactly what Alex Ferreira has done as he gets set to drop in on what will be a glory run for him.
Oh man, so well deserved. The back-to-back big switch doubles, his grabs, his execution, his amplitude, everything is truly what the judges desired. Delivered today in a beautiful way, and here we're getting an indication. We were putting cards on the table, and you were thinking that maybe he'll go all out. I was thinking that might be the case.
It's a long season. I think he's going to save himself.
Triple Daffy, cat out the window style, then the big safety grab down at the bottom. So Ferreira takes the vacant defense and gets the victory lap here at Dew Tour.
The trademark pole swing as Alex Ferreira, the 24-year-old out of Aspen, Colorado, gets the victory, backs up his title from last year. He gets the win. He is now with Tina Dixon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And it's been an up and down day. A lot of guys just really pushing themselves out here. You came through with the win today. How do you put into words this win?
Yeah, I'm just extremely happy. I hope my friend Tornier Wallace is okay. That's the main focus on my mind right now. Switch focuses right now. So I hope he's okay.
Yeah, well, let's go back to last year where you won this event. You went on to win an Olympic medal. This is where your Olympic campaign started. How meaningful is it to come back, though, and finish on top of the podium again?
I know, right? What are those odds? 2 for 2? No, Dew Tour obviously holds a special place in my heart. And I just can't believe I did it twice. It did start the Olympic campaign, so hopefully it'll start the rest of my season off really well.
What place do you think a Superpipe modified event has in the world of freestyle skiing?
I think every event, all of the events, half of them should be modified Superpipe. It's pushing the sport in a very creative, unique way, and I think that's just amazing.
Well done today, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks, Tina. Have a good day.
All right, Todd.
All right, thank you very much, and congratulations to Alex Ferreira backing up his win from last year. As he said, though, Luke, his mind certainly on the well-being of his good friend Tornator Wallace, who went down hard in run number 1, but he celebrates another victory at the Dew Tour after a stellar performance picking up the medal in Pyeongchang. He had the style. I love it when a plan comes together, and today he certainly had the right plan, the right flight pattern, and just put everything to his feet.
He did, and like I said, his execution was just flawless. I mean, the ability to throw back-to-back double cork 1260s and to lock in the grabs so well. The tail grab on the 900, his exit, his whole flight path, as you said, just solid. And all the decisions that he made in terms of his line and the tricks he was going to incorporate really worked out. Some athletes went for something that might have been a little more over the top, maybe more difficult, higher risk, higher reward, but I think that he picked the perfect way to operate here
So
today.
the Americans sweep the podium here at the Dew Tour. Alex Ferreira gets the win. Aaron Blunk's second. David Wise finishing in third. Let's take a look at this run one more time. It came in run number 1, and Luke, he just came out, and this was a difficult situation because just moments before, his good friend Tornator Wallace had gone down hard, taken off on the sled.
Yeah, that is such a difficult thing to wrap your mind around from an athlete perspective, but he goes in, he kind of blocks it out. People get hurt skiing. This is skiing. We all do it, were his words, I believe. And big dub cork 12, there's the one to the right, and so flawlessly executed. So extraordinarily talented and spinning in both directions and making it look easy. Big 900 right there, super solid tail, and watch this exit. Giant flat spin, shows the comfort just by hanging those skis back for style. Then the right side 360 lead safety, way out wide, kind of contorts his body a little bit to get those bases showing. The forefront symbol being seen by the crowd below, and Ferreira just bringing the heat, round 1.
Well, congratulations to Alex Ferreira. What a tremendous performance. Again, everyone, heavy hearts today because Tornator Wallace going down on run number 1, the 23-year-old Basalt. We talked about it. Did not lose consciousness, and the medical reports were that it was a double heel injury. We saw him drop some 30-plus feet to the flats.
Yeah, and that's worst case scenario whenever you're riding in a half pipe or hitting a hip to just not even touch the landing, to land completely separate from it. So Tornator Wallace hopefully okay. We've seen people recover from heel injuries in the past, though. Each of us have.
Let's go back to what Tina asked Alex Ferreira about this event being furthered and bring it back more, not just once a year. And he thinks that maybe every other event, maybe half the event should be modified Superpipe. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's a cool way to look at it. I mean, one thing that I really love about slopestyle is that you never see the same course twice, and athletes are always, favored in different ways throughout the course, and there's opportunity to continue being creative, which is really what this sport is all about. It used to be a bunch of mogul skiers. Some guys decided they liked jumps more than the turns. So they started hitting more jumps, and boom, free skiing is born. So half the competition's being a modified Superpipe. Let's do it. I'm down.
Well, all in all, it was a fantastic competition. Once again, Alex Ferreira, the top man in the modified Superpipe today, bringing out the Tiger Woods Red, and it paid off for him today. It was run number 1 that got it done, a 90, the only man to get in the 90s today, and that score stood the test of time. As he takes the victory, Ferreira, Blunk, and Wise. Still to come, the women's snowboard modified Superpipe. As we get a little bit of a break, we'll be back after this.
Miss Samantha Herring. Thank you so much, Samantha. And with no further ado, your podium out here for men's ski modified pipe. In third place, this is his 5th Dew Tour podium. Make some noise for David Wise. One more time, let's hear it for your third place finisher, David Wise. And in second place, he got second place last year as well. This is his 3rd Dew Tour podium. Make some noise for Crested Buttes, Aaron Blanc. One more time, let's hear it for your second place finisher, Aaron Blanc. And your champion out here this morning, his 3rd Dew Tour podium, going back to back with the top spot, coming out of Aspen. Get loud and proud for Alex Ferreira! Let's hear it for your champion here at Dew Tour, Alex Ferreira, and your podium for men's ski modified pipe.
Congratulations to our modified Superpipe ski podium. The pipe looking absolutely haunted today. Some horrible slams in that opening session, but the top 3 right there pulled it through, and we hope that everybody that